This has to be the most interesting, intriguing book I have ever read, period. A huge thank you to Henry Wright for the recommendation. It is a new favorite of mine and a must-read top of the list. If you're like me, you've probably heard of Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, maybe hadn't gotten around to reading it yet, but it's on your list. Just as Henry's recommendation pushed me over the edge to read it, I hope this pushes you over the edge as well. Outliers. Wow. I don't even know where to start because it was just all so fascinating, so interesting, and I don't want to spoil anything because I was reading it and would just stop and be like, wow, just out loud. It was so good. This book takes a look at success and how it is much more about culture, family, upbringing, generational aspects, rather than just intelligence and personality. The one interesting thing is this book does not tell you how to become an outlier. So if you're looking for a 1, 2, 3 step process to success, this is not your book because the point is there is no 1, 2, 3 step to success. The book delves deeply into the fact that successful people aren't really self-made. You can be skeptical of that, but after you read this book, you probably won't be, or at least you will see that a lot of things impact our success. And while we do play a role in our success by working hard, being persistent, our success is a culmination of the people around us, the time we are born into, the place we live, and our cultural legacy. So the first idea I want to discuss is when you were born matters, and there's something you can do about it. So Gladwell takes a list of the 75 richest people in human history, kings, queens, contemporary billionaires, and he finds something very interesting. Out of this list of the 75 richest people in human history, so as far back as we can go, 14 are Americans born within 9 years of one another. That means almost 20% of this list comes from a single generation in a single country. So who are these people? We have Rockefeller, Carnegie, JP Morgan. But why? Gladwell goes on to explain that during the 1860s and the 1870s, America's economy underwent one of the most dramatic transformations, like Mia from Princess Diaries. Wall Street emerged, industrial manufacturing boomed. But let's not miss the point here. If you were too old, you were heavily influenced by pre-Civil War era thinking and might not have acted. And if you were too young, you didn't have the foresight, knowledge, or money to invest. So you might not be Rockefeller. Pretty interesting. When you were born matters. Gladwell then poses a question. If January 1975 was the dawn of the personal computer age, then who would be in the best position to take advantage of it? So it turns out there is a perfect age. The perfect age would be old enough to be a part of this revolution, but not so old that you miss it, that you're already in a stable job or you have a family to provide for. So in 1975, you'd want to be about 20 or 21. Gladwell then tests this theory by looking at some of the most successful people from this time. Bill Gates, Paul Allen, Steve Ballmer, Steve Jobs. And it turns out they were all born within just a few years of one another. So what do we do with this? We can't change when we are born, but we can work to be more aware of what is happening around us and seize opportunities that can develop into advantages. For me, it caused me to pause and reflect. What disruption, what transformation am I missing out on and not investing in? Not to reveal my age, but I am in a position where I can take advantage of transformations. I don't have a family to provide for. I can have my mind open to new ideas and trends. So one thing we need to do is intentionally study and look for what is coming next and how we can be a part of it. And then the other response to this whole idea points me to thankfulness. We can't control when we are born or every person we run into or everything that we learn that helped us become successful, but we can be thankful. Being aware of the fact that we can't claim 100% of our own success can help us develop a posture of gratitude and humility towards others. I think of my own story and how countless people have helped me become who I am and get where I am. Even just small things. For example, I moved to a new state, joined a new church. It's a fairly large church. I went to a class that my church was having, and it had several different meeting times to choose from. I chose a Wednesday. I sat down at a table and met a new friend. She introduced me to some new resources that I could use to grow in my faith and share my learnings with others. This is just one small thing that I can't take credit for, one area of growth in which I was largely impacted by someone else. what I can do is be thankful for this. And I can help others as I have been helped. I can give back. So think about who you can help today. Make it your goal to go out of your own way for one person. Share encouragement, help someone with their resume. Do what you can to help others reach success as you have been helped. Well, that took a bit of a turn from where we are born matters, but you get the picture. The next main idea is persistence is crucial to success. So while there are things outside of us that largely impact our success, there are also some things that we can control. For example, our attitude or our work ethic. If you've watched any of my videos, or many of them, you know that I believe the only person we can shape and change is ourselves, and that is always who we should be improving ourselves. So for this idea of persistence though, I'm going to read a quote from the book and then talk a little bit about it. So it says, "We sometimes think of being good at mathematics as an innate ability. You either have it or you don't. But to Schoenfeld, it's not so much ability as attitude. You master mathematics if you are willing to try. Success is a function of persistence and doggedness and the willingness to work hard for 22 minutes to make sense of something that most people would give up on after 30 seconds. So to give a little background, Schoenfeld is a math professor at Berkeley, and he is working with a woman. He's examining her as she tries to figure out a math problem on some computer software that is made to teach algebra. And what she was trying to figure out was how to find the slope of a line. So 5 minutes pass and she hasn't figured it out, but she keeps trying different things. She talks Schoenfeld through her thoughts as she keeps trying. Another 5 minutes goes by and then 10 more, but she's persistent. She's determined. She doesn't give up. She spends in total 22 minutes working to solve one problem. And the time she invested pays off because she figures it out. Listen to the quote again, or just think about what this says. Success is a function of persistence and doggedness and the willingness to work hard for 22 minutes to make sense of something that most people will give up on after 30 seconds. Now, when is the last time you spent more than 20 minutes trying to solve a problem? Just one problem. This persistence, this ability to work until we find an answer is crucial to our success. So how do we practice this? We finish things we start. I read this book the other day that was talking about self-control, I believe, but regardless, I think this advice fits. It said, finish everything that you start just as a general practice. It builds persistence and eventually leads to success. Obviously, there are some exceptions here. If you're reading a bad book or watching a bad movie, please stop. If you're eating and you're full, please stop. Don't say, well, Madison from LinkedIn said I need to finish what I started, so I'll just finish off this pint of Ben & Jerry's. No. Be willing to see things through, though, without giving up. This will build the muscles of success in your brain and help you to overcome giving up easily. Start with the small things. Maybe math is where you start. So that's all I have for us today. Just a quick recap. Where we are born matters. We should look for opportunities to take advantage of and be thankful for the people and places who have pushed us in the right direction. And then we also need to be persistent and see things through to the end. This is the third time I've recorded this video, so it's just a mark of persistence, I guess. But thank you for watching. Follow the hashtag TheSpinalTap, and until next time, happy reading.